it is finally about to happen. What a lot of people have been expecting on the case of Nnamdi Kanu is finally about to happen now. Sowore have finally unveiled to Nnamdi Kanu a few hours ago how he will eventually bring out Nnamdi Kanu from the custody and stop all the cases against Nnamdi Kanu. Obviously, Sowore have said they did not want Nnamdi Kanu to be released and they did not want him to go. But the same Sowore have made it clear that this is the only way that he will bring Nnamdi Kanu out of the DSS detention. And Nnamdi Kanu is already agreeing to everything that Sowore said, because Sowore is the man that always fight for justice. You will hear what Sowore said in this very video in his letter. So I would like us to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share the video as you're watching it, just want to share it. Share it to different social media platforms. Let it go viral. And if you can share it, just like the video. Like it, give it a thumb up so that YouTube will recommend it for us. Just stay connected. I'm coming back again.
Welcome you back to LAJUPOG Watch TV.
I don't have bad news for you today.
The home of religious gossip.
But you should leave the fight for Mohammed.
What is happening in the Christendom? Join now to make sense with LAJUPOG.
Hello my great and wonderful viewers, welcome back to LAJUPOG Watch TV. For those of you coming across this channel for the very first time, just want to click the registration button appearing on your video screen, and at the same time click the notification bell icon so that whenever we drop a new video in few hours time, YouTube will easily let you to know. First one, I don't want to waste your data on this very video. I just want to go straight to the point. Sowore is finally on the verge of removing Nnamdi Kanu from the DSS detention. A lot of people have been arrested in Nigeria before. Even till now, they arrested a lot of Nigerian youths based on the fact that they speak against Tinubu, based on the fact that they're speaking up for a better Nigeria. But many of them have been put in detention. But Sowore have been the only person that have always been putting himself in a line that always bring out these people from different detention that they put in them. No Nigerian politicians have ever done this. It is only Sowore that always come out to remove people from unjust and biased detention. And the same Sowore now have come for Nnamdi Kanu again, said no, all this trial that they be trying Nnamdi Kanu, that everything will stop. Now he has finally unveiled how he will eventually bring out Nnamdi Kanu from the custody. Yes, a lot of people were saying that, oh, Sowore should join the coalition that they are trying to form and all of that, that it is through the coalition that we will remove Nnamdi Kanu from the DSS detention and all of that. But Sowore said no. He said they have his own way of bringing out Nnamdi Kanu out of the DSS detention. So I'll be playing the full video. You will see everything the way it goes. A lot of BIAFRANS will be jubilating because they know that Sowore is a man of his word. Once he say it, he will eventually do it the way they say it. So I would like us to stay connected to the end of this video. If you can share the video, just want to share it. Share it to different social media platforms. Let it go viral. Let a lot of people get to know what is happening as far as Nnamdi Kanu case is concerned. And if you can share the video, just like it. Like the video, give it a thumb up so that it will be recommended for us. If you truly love Nnamdi Kanu and you love Sowore as well, drop a love emoji for them in the comment section on this video. Just drop your heart for them in the comment section on this video if you truly love them and you truly be helpful. Sowore is the only man that whenever Nnamdi Kanu wants to face trial in court, he will be available in the court. There are times Sowore will be in the court premises and he will be causing trouble with the DSS officers at the entrance of the court there. At the premises of the court, Sowore is the only one that gives them problem. Nobody else, not even BIAFRANS. This Sowore in question is a Yoruba man. Now a lot of people are saying that no, Sowore should join the coalition of different politicians and they should collide together like this. When they collide together, that they can actually have a very big force and kick Tinubu out of office in 2027. And it is through that means that Sowore will eventually bring out Nnamdi Kanu out of DSS detention. They believe that when Sowore is in power, Sowore will be able to bring Nnamdi Kanu out of DSS detention. But Sowore said no, that 2027 is too far, that he cannot even join the coalition of corrupt politicians just because they want to kick Tinubu out of power, that will not defy his own reputation. That was what Sowore said. But as if that is not enough, a lot of BIAFRANS have been sorting the Sowore in question right from time. They say it's a Yoruba man, that the blood of a Yoruba man will continue to be running in his vein and all of that, that a Yoruba man will become a Yoruba man will remain a Yoruba man. Is it not a Yoruba man when he's bringing up a very big strategy of removing Nnamdi Kanu out of the DSS detention? Sowore said, they said obviously since Kenya have made the ruling in Kenya court that the extradition of Nnamdi Kanu and the rendition of Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria is illegal, they said they're supposed to remove Nnamdi Kanu from DSS detention first of all, since Kenya have declared it in their court that it is illegal the way they extradited Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria, they're supposed to allow Nnamdi Kanu to first of all be released in Nigeria DSS facility first, but they did not release, they did not allow him to go, and a lot of people have been saying that obviously they did not want him to go. That's what a lot of people have been saying. They said if they really want him to go, since Kenya have declared that the rendition is very illegal, they should allow him to go. Even ECOWAS are now putting their mouth as well. According to the report that is getting to us, allegedly, they say UK is finally telling Tinubu to actually let Nnamdi Kanu to go, since Kenya that brought Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria have declared the rendition illegal. That shows that if the rendition of Nnamdi Kanu is illegal, that shows that the detention of Nnamdi Kanu in DSS facility for many years is illegal as well. And that shows that the trial that Nnamdi Kanu will be facing in court and all of that, according to reports, since the rendition is illegal, that shows that the trial is illegal. That's what a lot of people are saying. You should go to different social media platforms, you will see everything. It's the same thing. That's what people are actually saying. But yet, they did not allow him to go. Now, Sowore came up with the fact that if Nnamdi Kanu truly wants to go, that this is what he will do. Sowore have stated what he will eventually do. He said since they did not want him to be released, all these power-drunk politicians and all of that, since they did not want Nnamdi Kanu to be released, that he will do it this way, that Nnamdi Kanu will be released immediately. You will hear everything from the horseman to yourself, because a lot of people are now seeing it obviously, because Nnamdi Kanu said it himself. He said the people that are behind his detention is not even Tinubu, that it is some politicians underground, some political elite that they are underground. Though he didn't mention anybody's name, but he just stated it generally. He said they eating from the dividends of the insecurity that is happening everywhere in Nigeria. That is why they did not want him to be released. He said they eating from the insecurity that is happening in the eastern part of Nigeria generally. That's why they want him to remain in the DSS detention there, because they know that if he's released, everywhere we pause, that all the insecurity will eventually stop. That was what Nnamdi Kanu said. And that was when he said if they should release him, the insecurity in the eastern part of Nigeria will stop in 1 minute. But did they release him? No. Now, Sowore have finally burst out on Nnamdi Kanu. The way I've been releasing all those guys that they've been arresting up and down, putting in detention, the same Sowore have come for Nnamdi Kanu and said this is the only way that I will remove Nnamdi Kanu from detention. Since Kenya court have made ruling that the rendition of Nnamdi Kanu is illegal and they did not let him to go, that shows that he knows how he will come in. Sowore have said that he knows how he will come in and know how Nnamdi Kanu will be released. So I'll play the full video now. You see things for yourself. If you can share the video, just share it. If you can't share it, just like it. Just to connect to the end of the video, first of all, hear what Nnamdi Kanu said in his previous videos that is related to what Sowore actually said. Then during the video, you will hear from Sowore himself, you will hear from the horseman himself, the strategy he wants to put in place in few days to remove Nnamdi Kanu from custody. Just to connect it. If you can share the video, share it. If you can't share it, just like it. If you're a true lover of Nnamdi Kanu and you love Sowore, drop a love emoji for these two guys at the comment section on this video. They're really fighting a good cause. Just stay connected. I'm coming back again.
For the very first time, there has been affirmation that the South is actually one. Since 1914, this is the very first time that they are stating publicly in a communique that the South is one by the elected leaders, so to speak. For the purposes of our program this night, we may even call them leaders, because they did well. I must tell you the truth. Now, let us proceed. And before you, who brought them together in the first place? One is our agitation. Second is the unity and union, the bond between the East and the West. Between Biafra agitators and those agitating for Duduwa. They have tried everything to break us, they could not break us. They had no alternative than to come together. Do you see what consistency does? This is the benefit of consistency. Once you're consistent in life, good things will come to you. And I also commend our Duduwa brothers this very day for their resilience and their consistency. That is why, for the first time in a meeting, in a place, you have governors from the East, you have governors from the West, Igbo governors, Yoruba governors, of course, together, saying something that makes sense for the first time in that I can even remember. The North, the Janjaweed will meet in Arewa House. They will take decision affecting the whole of the zoo, affecting everybody, and they ram it down your throat. You have to accept it. Where they found this courage, I have no idea. Maybe they're emulating what we are doing. They now understand that we have no fear before our enemies. They now understand that we are scrupulously clean, whiter than white and wetter than snow. They now have developed, or should I say, come to appreciate the essence of courage and determination. So for coming together, of course, I commend them. I do commend them because they have done very, very well. During this very meeting, they affirmed that peoples of southern Nigeria remain committed to the unity of Nigeria. Well, of course, that's expected if you consider they get their monthly allocation. Everyone wants to go to Asorok, so they will say they want unity of Nigeria. But they want unity of Nigeria on the basis of justice, fairness, equity, and oneness, and peaceful coexistence between and among these peoples, with a focus on the attainment of shared goals for economic development and prosperity. English has no meaning. The latter part of what they have written here has no meaning because they've been saying this rubbish for very many years. Now, the second point on the communique states, observe that the incursion of armed herders, criminals and bandits into the southern part of the country has presented a severe security challenge such that citizens are not able to live their normal lives, including pursuing various productive activities, leading to a threat to food supply and general security. Basically, they are warning Fulani, Janjaweed, terrorist headsmen, short for Miet Yala. They have now come out to say that they are concerned about the activities of Miet Yala. Consequently, the meeting resolved that open grazing of cattle be banned across southern Nigeria. In other words, if you see any cattle in any farm from tonight, anywhere in southern part of the zoo called Nigeria, you kill it. You are enforcing the law made, or should I say, directive executive order made by those that you claim you voted for to look after your affairs. They noted that development and population growth has put pressure on available land and increased the prospects of conflict between migrating herders and local populations in the south. Given this scenario, it has become imperative to enforce the ban on open grazing in the south, including cattle movement to the south by foot. Nobody should bring cattle into the south. In other words, Ruga is dead. Cattle highway is dead. Cattle path and cattle routes, they are all dead. From what they deliberated and came to conclusion to this very day in Ahaba. They concluded that anywhere you see Miet Yala with their cattle on foot inside your farm or anywhere, of course, in the east, we call Eastern Security Network, and we treat them the way we have been treating them. Why are they saying this? Because we took the bulls by the horn. We don't mess about all this nonsense what they're doing, that rubbish. I'm not go to the rubbish. If we find you in the bush, you are bushmeat, you are gone. Both you and your cattle, you are finished. Do you see how parochial, do you see how selfish these people are? What concerns them is their office for them to protect it. That is why they are arguing for restructuring along state lines where you will not answer your name. Where somebody can say, oh, I'm from River State, that has no meaning. I'm from Delta State, that has no meaning. I'm from a state that is named after a river, no longer the people. Because they know that if we ethnicize the identity of people in the zoo, our eyes or the eyes of everybody will open at the same time. They don't want to ethnicize it. What they want to do is to go with these same artificial boundaries, the same thing that the white man did. That is what they want to recreate. They want the entrenchment of the state system in the zoo in order for them to remain relevant and valid in office. And we are against that completely and totally. Now, these southern governors are recommending that in view of widespread agitations among our various peoples, here we come, we have now come into the play. Oduduwa and Biafra agitators, we are now in the game. They are now talking about us. Let us hear what they had to say. We recommend that in view of the widespread agitations, of course, by IPOB and Oduduwa agitators, among other various peoples, for greater inclusiveness in existing governance arrangements, the federal government should convoke a national dialogue as a matter of urgency. So we are now moving very close to that referendum we talked about, isn't it? Because after or once you pick up a gun, it will always end on a round table. Not the table with four corners, no. The rectangular ones, no. Always on a round table. And they now understand it very clearly. They are now calling for national dialogue. If they have the clout, if they have the presence of mind or conviction to push these things through, for their counterparts and their husbands in the north to agree to, is another matter altogether. But at least they have said it. And they must also be commended for it. They also recommended that in deference to the sensitivities of our various peoples, there is need to review appointments into federal, like federal character, that Fulani should not dominate everything. This is a very diplomatic way of saying that Fulani should not take over every sensitive security position in the zoo. It must also go to other ethnic groups as well. Now, this is one that I love very, very much. We have resolved to foster cooperation among the southern states and the nation at large. For the very first time, they are saying that the Igbo and Yoruba will work together. Izon is there, Ijo is there, Ibibio is there, Efik is there. For the first time since 1914. Some of you may be shocked. This is the only time since Lugard, that wretched Lugard, came into the zoo to turn us into wild beasts and animals. I'm telling you, this is the first time that southern protectorate you've been hearing about, this is the first time that their so-called leaders are meeting since 1914. Over 100 years ago. Over 100 years ago, this is the first time they're meeting. Imagine if they had been meeting all these years as their northern counterparts were doing. Do you know where they met? In Ahaba. They met for the simple reason that the divide and rule tactics of the North is no longer working. They can no longer divide us. And where I should give credit, I won't hesitate to give credit. There's a group called Nsuko Mona, the ones that started this handshake across for us, because of course the boundary is not in Niger, it's in Igodomigodo. They started all this movement to try to unite the South. Nsuko Mona, they are called. They have been fighting for very many years. And I also give them credit because this is as a result of what they have been fighting for over the years. What Biafra and Oduduwa agitators did was to give impetus to this very thinking. That is why we are where we are today. For the first time since 1914, over a century ago, over 100 years ago, the leaders of the South are meeting to discuss something, should I say, issues of common interest. They have resolved now to cooperate. Let it not be that when your husband calls you now from the north, you start panicking and saying, I'm not part of it. I'm from the southeast. I'm from south. I'm from southwest. Once you maintain that united front, you are impregnable. Even if one stupid governor may be responding to what the husband is requesting from the north, once you are united and you're very, very strong, the Janjaweed will bow to you. These are the things you must understand and have that in mind. Now, they have expressed concern. This is where they now come to Radio Biafra. I want you to understand that this meeting today in Ahava is all about those that want freedom. And what we have been preaching on Radio Biafra for very many years, now it is sinking in. They pretend they don't listen, but everybody listens to what we have to say on this noble platform. I mean, absolutely everybody. They listen to us, and we are winning this very war of ideology and war of philosophy. Why am I saying this? The governors expressed concern on the continued gridlock on Oshodi-Apapa Expressway, which we have been talking about now for years, and the chokehold it has exerted on the nation's economy, being the sole outlet from Apapa Wharf. The meeting therefore recommended the activation and establishment of ports in other states of the Federation to create new jobs and promote socioeconomic activities in the country. What I have been preaching for very many years, isn't it? When somebody, I was in the dungeon in DSS, somebody came to me and asked me, what would you like to see done? And I said to them that you must open the seaport in Warren, open the seaport in Iguacha that the white man named Port Harcourt, open the seaport in Calabar, and allow Onitsha River Port to function. In fact, you can even go as far as building another one in Lokoja as well. I wrote these things down and I gave it to the federal government of Nigeria. When the Eastern governors called us for a meeting, I went to Eastern governors and I gave them the same thing. I never asked them for any money. I didn't ask them for anything. I didn't ask them to make my life better, to buy me a helicopter, or to buy me a private jet, or to open an account for me in the Cayman Islands, stuffed with dollars, I asked them, I said to them that our people need employment. I said to them, go, the railways they are building in Nigeria today was my recommendation when I was in detention. I said to them, I'll give you this sound economic advice for free. But of course, they misused it. I said to them, if you go to everything I've been preaching for the past, I don't know if it's 7 or 8 years, it is there. Now, for the first time, they have agreed. They have come together to agree that Warri Seaport should be opened. Calabar Seaport should be opened. Iguacha, that they call Port Harcourt Seaport, should be opened as well. Now, do you understand it? I want all the intellectuals to understand how far we have gone. We always win. I said to all of you, in the end, we win. Just remain consistent. Do not waver. Do not move to the right or to the left. Remain where you are on the path of truth, justice, and honesty. Eventually, your ideas will prevail. And today it has prevailed. They are now asking for the creation of jobs and the promotion of socio-economic activities in the southern part of the damnable Zoological Republic. The meeting expressed concern on the economic implications of another lockdown on the country. Now they know. They now know. This is what I want to talk about this evening. Before this very news or communique was issued by the governors of the South, they are locking everybody down to stifle the economy, to move, harden the terrorists into the South, to commence the final onslaught, the final phase of the Islamization agenda of the Sokoto Caliphate. It's nothing to do with COVID. Absolutely nothing to do with COVID. They want to bring these people down to our land to commence the final onslaught before 2022, when they had hopes to overrun every inch of territory in the South on their path to the full Islamization of the damnable contraption we know as Nigeria. They do not want another lockdown, and therefore suggested greater coordination and cooperation between federal and state governments in evolving strategies for dealing with the pandemic. In other words, no, Yusuf Abubakar Mohammed cannot sit in Aso Rock anymore and issue directives saying, oh, we are in a lockdown. And what stupid lockdown? The Fulanis are using it to stifle us. Whereas the borders are open in the north. They can bring in rice, they can export cement, they can cooperate with their Niger Republic brothers and sisters and cousins. But in the South, they say no movement, lockdown. They want to stifle us economically, because if you don't have money, there is no way you can lobby the world, there is no way you can buy weapons, there is no way you can exert any measure of influence. They want to be the ones handling the money alone. That is what they are planning to do. But I'm glad that the southern governors have come to their senses, or have realized that eventually, or at last, they must rise up to say something about this stupid, ridiculous lockdown that the Janjaweed Caliphate is proposing. Now, they express very grave concern on the security challenge currently plaguing the nation, and strongly urge that Yusuf come and address also southern governors. That thing I've been preaching. How can you have a country where the president doesn't talk to you? Is that possible? Because they know we are waiting with our Onyokomita, we are waiting for them. Once that idiot comes out to speak, we will dissect, we will analyze, and they understand it. They do not want to put themselves to shame. That is the reason why he's no longer talking. Even the recorded ones you used to get once every 8 weeks, you're no longer getting it. Now the southern governors are saying to Aso Rock, please talk to us, I want to hear from you, because they themselves are now convinced that Buhari is dead. They now know also that there is somebody in Aso Rock. Now they're asking him to come out to speak live to the people, and we know he can never do it. because we are waiting. We have recruited new scientists. There is no trick they will bring, no artificial intelligence. There is no deep fake video they will bring out now that will not dissect from top to bottom. From top to bottom. Now they express their gratitude to their host, which is Ifeanyi Okowa. He has done very well, of course. He has done very, very well to host this very meeting. I'm not excusing his idiocy and stupidity, but of course, for hosting, for once, they're finding their voice. Do you know what? Do you know why they're talking? Because they know that the Fulani can no longer divide them. No longer can they be divided. No more. Because even if you divide the governors, the men on the ground, the foot soldiers on the ground, they are united. The East and the West, we are now bound together. That is why, for the very first time in over 100 years, the South is reasserting its identity, because the North will always come and say, we are the North. This is a minority of them from the Sharia region. They have emasculated the Middle Belt. They now say, we are the North. But when they come to us, they say, oh, this is East and this is West. They divided Nigeria into three to suit them. The North, the East, and the West. When they come as the North, they come as one block, one effective, dominant block. This one is playing his own corner, West, and this one East. Now, East and West have come together. That still believe in your zoological republic. Come out and address people. And I'm asking all Biafrans, do not obey this latest phase of lockdown. The reason being that they want to use the dead of the night to move their fighters into our forests, because we have defeated their foot soldiers. Mietiala, we have defeated them. They now want to use the cover of the night. You will see them only Fulani people with their police and army, and escort for that matter, moving men and materials down to the south. We must resist this stupid lockdown. It is not going to hold in Biafra land. And I must also say, because they also announced today that they're rolling out a new security, whatever rubbish for their southeast and their south. To me, it is Biafra. I am warning every coordinator, do not sleep in your house starting from tonight. All coordinators and deputy coordinators, look for somewhere to go to. We are in the trenches right now. We are about to experience freedom fighting, what it's like. It is not comfortable, it is not rosy at all. Do not sleep at home. Do not sleep at home. Change your phone numbers, even change the phone itself. Or else they'll be able. Now, DSS is finding it difficult to track people, because we are making their life a misery as well, and they understand. We are waiting for them. Their own turn is coming. And when it comes, I am sure that all of you will approve of it.
Thank you for staying connected, my great and wonderful viewers. You can hear everything that was said in this very video. You can see everything that Nnamdi Kanu actually said in this very video. You can see things for yourself. Now, a lot of people are saying that, yes, Kenya that extradited Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria, Kenya make a ruling in their court, which everybody knows. And PLO Lumumba stood for Nnamdi Kanu as the leading lawyer for Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya court. And he eventually won the case in court. And the judge passed the judgment that the rendition of Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria is illegal. Obviously speaking, since they extradited Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria and they declared it illegal, they're supposed to release him in Nigeria facility. That's what a lot of people were thinking. Not even Nigerians, a lot of African people, that's what they're actually thinking. They said, yes, since the extradition have been declared illegal, they're supposed to release him in where they extradited him to, which is Nigeria. But they did not release him. Now, a lot of people are now coming up with the conclusion that, yes, this thing is politically inclined. They did not want this guy to go. They did not want him to go. That's what a lot of people are actually saying. Now, Sowore now made it known. He said, since they did not want him to go, since Kenya court made the ruling and they still don't want him to go, that shows that they never wanted him to leave. Because on the norms, if they should arrest someone and the person wants to face trial, it's either they put the person in remand in the prison, or they release the person and the person will be in his house. So he will just be coming to court from his house. He did not have anywhere to run to. If the country is secure enough, he did not have anywhere to run to. He will be coming from remand to the court or from his house to the court. What will happen? But they kept him in DSS facilities for more than 4 years, and he keep coming to the court from there. Yes, that's what is happening. And according to reports before, they said the DSS allegedly stopped a lot of people from seeing Nnamdi Kanu, and even to the extent that they did not allow him to have good access to good medical facility. That's what a lot of people actually said. And the lawyers of Nnamdi Kanu actually said that as well. Now, since they don't want him to go, a lot of people are now saying that yes, this thing is politically inclined, that Sowore is the only one that can bring Nnamdi Kanu out of the custody. They said Obi is doing like a woman. They said Peter B is doing like a woman, that Peter B would have been the best man for the job. But how many people have Peter B have brought out of detention? Yes, he's a very good man, but how many people have he brought out of detention? Those are the questions that a lot of people are actually asking. Do you know how many guys that they've been arrested and they've put in detention, in prison, that Sowore have brought out? Do you know how many guys that they've arrested on TikTok? A lot of guys that always come out to speak to power, they speak the truth to power, and some will just talk anyhow and just ensure that they blast and label Tinubu. But yet, they will arrest them, they will detain them, and Sowore will be the one to put himself in the line to make sure that they get their release. How many people have Peter B brought out like that? So Sowore is the man for the job, and a lot of people are pointing fingers at Sowore now, that Sowore is the only man for the job, and they begging Sowore to join the coalition that they're trying to formulate against Tinubu in 2027. They said if Sowore can join the coalition, Sowore will have all the ultimate power to actually bring Nnamdi Kanu out of the detention. Do you think Sowore cannot bring Nnamdi Kanu out of the detention? But it's just that the man is not in the right power. He's not having the right power to actually bring him out. If not, he would have brought him out. Every day, every trial of Nnamdi Kanu, Sowore will always be in court. If it's not inside the court, he will be outside the court causing trouble with the DSS. Those are what have been happening. Now they said if he can join the coalition, he will have the political power and he will bring Nnamdi Kanu out with immediate effect. But Sowore said he never wanted to join any coalition because he did not like all these other politicians. He called them corrupt politicians. He said they're trying to formulate a coalition so that they can kick Tinubu out of power, and the same thing that Tinubu are between, they will continue it. He said he will never join all those kind of people. Now the same Sowore is making it known that he will stand alone and he will fight for his cause, and the moment he fight for a cause, that Nnamdi Kanu will be released through revolution. That was what Sowore said. He said it is only revolution when Nigerians stand up for themselves. That is when Nnamdi Kanu will be released, that they do not need to wait for any 2027 coalition and all of that. This is 2025, you want to wait for 2027. So a man will remain in detention till 2027, making up to 7 years in detention or 6 years in detention. Where on earth is that happening? That's what Sowore said. Now drop a opinion in the comment section on this video. They said it is only through revolution that Nnamdi Kanu will be kicked out of the legal detention, according to what Sowore. So just drop your opinion in the comment section. Feel free to comment in the comment section. As I'm gonna to get another for you, share, follow me on my social media handles on Facebook at LAJUPOG TV and LAJUPOG Entertainment, and on Instagram at LAJUPOG. Guess what, guys? See you in my next video, and bye for now.
I see the hot for my body, I say make I yarn you. Religious gossip plenty day for body. Pastor with the line on top, he pastor. For LAJUPOG watch TV. Pastor with the back, where politician with the do pass himself. Corrupt leader, all the while you waiting for church. All as LAJUPOG watch TV.